main titles of our news editions tonight are the head of state received the Saudi Minister of State for African Affairs. On continental news, kickoff of the presidential campaign in the capital of Senegal. Welcome. The President of the Republic, Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, received this afternoon at the Presidential Palace the Saudi Minister of State for African Affairs, Mr. Ahmed. The Saudi Minister handed the head of state a written message from the Guardian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz, regarding relations and fruitful cooperation between the two brothers countries. This meeting was held in the presence of the Minister of Foreign Affairs International Cooperation, the spokesman of the government, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, and the delegation accompanying the Saudi Minister of State for African Affairs. It should be noted that in recent years, Djiboutian relations with the Saudi have undergone remarkable development under the highlighted leadership of the two leaders of the country, represented by the President of the Republic, Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, and the Guardian of the two Saint Mosque of King Salman bin Abdulaziz. The Office of the Minister of Finance hosted this morning a signing ceremony of an agreement for the financing $23 million sustainable electrification program. This financing agreement from the World Bank will launch this new project to expand access to electricity to some 1,000 people belonging to the poorest segment of the population of Djibouti. This project will also connect more households to the national distribution network and expand public lighting system. The operation will also cover the extensions of power lines to the less developed interior region. Speaking on this occasion, the Minister of Finance, Mr. Ilyas Moussa Dawale, stressed the importance of the head of state to improve access to electricity for all citizens in order to secure and to generalize access to basic services to meet the requirement of economy and social development. After his speech, a projection was made by the electricity of Djibouti, headed by the Director General, Mr. Jamal Guelleh. Once completed, an agreement was signed between the Minister of Energy and the representative of the World Bank, considered as the common trade linking economic growth, social equity, and environmental safeguarding. Public authorities attach increasing importance to renewable energy in the field of electricity, stating that the strategic vision in this sense is based on improving the share of renewable energy mix and the development of decentralized solutions in renewable and remote area, and put energy at the heart of sustainable development. Mr. Derija Wardofa, Deputy Executive Director of the United Nations Populations, and accompanying him a delegation visited the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Corporations, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf. It was introduced to the Minister by the Minister of Women and the Family, Mrs. Momina Hamad Hassan. The maintenance is focused on cooperation between the two departments and strengthening further. Derija Wardofa, Deputy Executive Director of the United Nations Population, who is making a 24 hours working visit to Djibouti as part of a tour of the region. For his first day of meeting with the country highest authority, he met also the Minister of Women and Family, Mrs. Momina Hamad Hassan. The meeting was held in the meeting room of the Ministry of Women and Family. The responsible of representative in Djibouti, Mrs. Aisha Ibrahim Jama, alongside the Djiboutian Minister, the situations of women in Djibouti and many areas were discussed between the two responsible. A large tent was erected for the occasions, hosting several stands of working private and public partners in close collaboration with a single window. This day will the day will continue until tomorrow on the esplanade of the single window. The one-stop shop was inaugurated on March 12, 2017 by the President of the Republic, where the head of state has declared his political will and that of his government to make the single window spearhead the head of the national strategy for the promotion of businesses in the particular and the private sector in general. Several senior officials took part that event, including the Secretary General of the Ministry of Investment, Mr. Abdi Almi Ashkir, the Director General of ENPE, Mahdi Darar Absiyeh, as well as the Director General of the FNUD for Economic Development, Mr. Ali Dawood, and the Secretary General of Djibouti Chamber of Trade, Mrs. Hibo Osman. At the beginning, Mrs. Hibo Osman, Secretary General of Chamber of Trade, has recorded progress promoting the creation's added value and contributing to the growth. In his part, the Director General of the NPA recalled that this unique window and all the institutions represented in his breast will address to young nation, and that will support all businesses to attract more businesses in local. A delegation conducted by the Vice Minister Saudian Dr. Abdullah Sabil went to the town of Tajura, where they were received by the prefect of the region, Mr. Mohammed Benoita, and the director of school Islamic, Mr. Hassan Mohammed. A warm welcome was prepared to them, including traditional dances have been reserved in honor of Saudi delegation. The Islamic Student School is without doubt that widely contributed to the promotion of the Arab language and Islam culture in the Republic of Djibouti. As part of its program of support and follow-up of graduate of technical and vocational training, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training launched this morning the first phase of individual registrations at the Micro Incubation Center. Registration at the Micro Enterprise Incubation that opened this morning will continue until Thursday, February. This center was initiated by the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training under the leadership of the President to assist the young graduates wishing to start their own businesses. The police stations in Hodan were cited by a complaint faced with the recrudescence of the flight, but also the numbers complaint disposed by users in the police department. Following of object careful research was conducted by the men of the Hodan city policemen and result the arrest of these individuals. The stolen objects are flat screens, one laptop, several mobile phones. The author of this main was already known by the police of this district. The investigation made it possible to find all the responsible. And now let's move on continental news. In Dakar, where the campaign for the February 24 presidential elections for 3 weeks began, during which the outgoing Macky Sall and his 4 opponents will crisscross the country.
Special election campaign in Senegal began on Sunday. President Macky Sall is hoping to be re-elected in the first round of the polls scheduled for February 24. Analysts say the elimination of two main rivals of Macky Sall, former Minister Karim Wade and ex-Dakar Mayor Khalifa Sall, should pave the way for an easy win for the current president. Four candidates will challenge the outgoing president at the polls. Former Prime Minister Idrissa Seck is attempting the presidency for a third time. The others include former Minister Madike Niaike, Ousmane Sonko, and MB, and Issa Sall, leader of a party affiliated to a religious movement. Candidates have 3 weeks on the campaign trail. International and regional organizations have denounced unfair trials of Karim Wade and Khalifa Sall and restrictions on their liberties.
We arrived at the end of this news editions. Thank you for watching us. Goodbye.